Like, is there like some kind of memory leak or something happening here? I accidentally clicked skip on the latest OBS update. So, maybe that's why it's worse. All right. Well, that was annoying. I'm gonna risk trying to play the sound effect again. Let's see if it crashes the stream this time. No, we're good. Just was not happy with that other one. Okay. All right, success. So, along the way, Akiri, with your survival, you said you're looking for any danger, right?
She's making sure we're going in the correct direction.
In the right direction. Yeah. Using survival, you don't need to stop and ask for directions. You wave the squadron of Arkangard on by you guys, and just by looking at your map, your personal map that you have, and the landmarks all around. You've got the pine forest, the mountains, the hills, and the lake, the Deep Lurk Lake, as well as the fungal forest directly to the north, with its huge purple mushrooms, practically, literally lighting up the morning sky in that direction. You orient yourselves. And you orient yourself perfectly, and you are sure that you're going in the right direction. Despite the occasional weird creature that's spotted along the way, actually, I shouldn't say despite, the increasing frequency of these only makes you more certain that you are heading toward Arkney, and getting directly closer to it. So you do actually spot more two-headed unicorn dogs, but these are not wild, but seem to have been domesticated and are herding some sheep and other farm animals. Kind of delightfully barking. Sometimes the two heads bark at each other and tussle with their unicorn horns. But they are running around at various farms nearby. Okay, so you got 2 temp HP. Who else wants to jump in?
Vapos will do one. He's gonna look at basically all of the people that are oncoming, that are heading in the opposite direction from us, and basically just kind of keep an eye out since the last time we were on a major road, we were worried that we were about to get ambushed. So Vapos is going to be looking for anybody who might be like a potential scout for an ambushing party up ahead, and trying to make sure that we don't have to deal with any bandits.
Go for it. Sorry, what skill was that?
I was thinking insight.
Cool. Absolutely.
Cool, let's say 23.
So I hope it's obvious, guys, but you can get benefits from your travel rolls beyond the 2 temp HP. So that's part of the reason to engage with it, right? There's more going on. The 23 insight, that is high. So, Vapos, you are noticing a pattern that is continuing of the vast majority of these people, while they are armed, are not looking like... They don't look nervous for the most part. And in fact, you spot with fair regularity people not even remembering that they are armed, like kind of, just like leaving their weaponry on their carts, and some of them are still peace bonded from wherever they were before heading out on the road. Nobody really travels the Wildlands without some form of armament. But you are... Well, actually, no. Vapos, you might remember that you heard about the settlement of Monument, where weapons are not allowed at all. Mm-hmm. So they may be heading toward there to market and other things of that nature. But there's really like not a lot of hostility. The one thing that does alarm you all for a second is you see coming along the road someone traveling on a gigantic, brightly colored snail with these kind of large morning star-like appendages coming out of its head, and on top of it is this two-storied house or structure that with these kind of wooden planks kind of holding up this platform atop its shell. And people are giving that a wide berth. But with your incredibly high insight, you're not worried at all. It's clearly an eccentric wizard coming from Arkney for some reason. And more or less with the... Although this snail travels surprisingly fast, it's not moving aggressively, nor is it, it's not going to run anyone over.
Okay, cool.
Now, as you continue to travel, the Vapos, with your extremely high insight, you notice more nervousness. You see actually fewer people forgetting to have their weapons close by. And until the point where you guys are just getting to this crossroads in the evening. And it's still a kind of relaxed atmosphere. You passed another phalanx or scouting party of Arkengard not too long ago. But by this point in the evening, people are relaxing. They're playing their musical instruments at this crossroads. It's kind of a general campsite. There's like a big open field area. And but those who aren't those who are away from the main campfires or who don't have like a large group that they're with are looking around nervously, mainly to the east. And yes, mainly to the southeast is where the people who look nervous are looking, and most of them, Vapos, have their weapons at the ready.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be sure to let everyone know. I'm not sure precisely what's going on, but a lot of these people seem to be worried about something that might be happening southeast of us. I'm noticing a lot of people looking in that direction.
Well,
That's
considering
weird.
how many sidetracks we've gotten on lately, seems like a good reason to avoid going that direction.
But we're headed southeast.
Well, eventually.
I don't know. I think it's probably best that we just keep an eye out for it.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying we don't, chase it down.
Oh, no, definitely not.
All right, that makes sense to me.
So after a day of fairly easy travel, you guys are at a pretty obvious place to camp. Uh, Let me know if you want to do something differently, but I guess your normal procedure would be, yeah, there's kind of a big flat area here between two, or perhaps two fields of the same farm, and there's this crossroads where you're on the main road, but it kind of splits off, and one path heads kind of to the east. Not sure whether it ends up going more northeast or more southeast. It looks a lot less used, but it's clearly there. You know, this used to be like at one point in time. This was a large crossroads. There's a massive cairn or pile of stones that marks the crossroads, and people are kind of, there's various campfires set up around it. At one point, people are occasionally strumming their mandolin, and there's noise of chatting and distant crackling of other people's campfires, barking dogs and such like. So, unless you tell me otherwise, you set up camp. And do you guys consume a trail ration?
Yeah,
Probably
I think that's probably the best choice right now.
Mm-hmm. And you will be lighting a campfire?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't see any reason
Yeah.
not to here.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's actually going to be one of the more comfortable camping areas that you guys have camped at in a while. You're not hiding in some dank ruin, nor are you in some kind of weird techno-magical, mega dungeon. And as you have more of the same fare that you've kind of been subsisting on for some weeks now, you actually see down to the south lights beginning to be kindled and twinkle kind of down below the level of the stars. Must be the far-off distant lights of the town of Arkney. You also see occasional, when you're not blinded by your own campfire, you also see occasional lights of flickering fires off to the southeast and east. And in those directions, there starts to be these the plains, the great arable farmland that you're traversing, kind of gives way to these big rolling hills with the occasional steep drop on one side, or mighty boulders standing out, and there's this kind of forested hills with a mysterious shroud of trees that bend in the wind, and it's through there, kind of atop here and there, occasional hills, that you can see these lights being these. There must be pretty big fires, both in that direction and in the direction of Arkney, to be spotted. All right. Would you guys like to do anything as you wrap up your rations? The stink of the Kraken's corpse and the smell and travel kind of slowly wafting from you.
One of these days, we should find somewhere that we can take a bath.
A what now?
Don't worry about it.
I believe that if we keep heading to the south, we'll probably be able to actually stay at a proper inn.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Arcany's pretty close.
Okay, wait, before we reach there, do we have any lingering bad blood? I don't feel like we do. I did try to murder someone, but I feel like that ended up being pretty chill in the end.
Yeah, I think we're cool there.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
we should be okay.
I'm
We should be okay.
glad we cleared that up. I've never been to Artmeet personally, so I don't think I'll have a problem. But I didn't think
Nah.
you guys might.
No, we'll be okay.
Although, one thing I will bring up is Vapos. Didn't you used to work with somebody by the name of Fitzywell?
Yes. Master Fitzywell was my teacher after I left my previous order.
Well, if I recall correctly, one of our contacts in Arkney is also a Mr. Fitzywell. He's a painter, or he was a painter before he lost his vision. One of the great bards, in fact, and he's retired to Arkney and lives there now. So I wonder if he might be a relative of the one who you used to know.
Well, that would be a pleasant surprise. I must admit, I've sort of lost track of where my master went after I finished training with him.
Well, I find it pretty unlikely that this would be the same person, since, like I say, this man is a painter and not, anything having to do with anything that you do. But nevertheless, it would be nice to find out if they were somehow related to one another.
Yes, that would be a surprising coincidence.
And full disclosure, that is the person I did try to do a murder on. In my defense, I was under a magical compulsion at the time.
Hopefully,
I'll
we've gotten
be
that all
honest,
cleared up.
that's sort of what I assumed, Bref.
Yeah, at this point, that's probably just the easiest assumption.
I mean, I sort of assumed that you wouldn't just wantonly decide to murder someone on your own.
No,
And
usually not.
You seem to have something of a history with those sorts of things. If you don't mind my saying so.
No, it's fair. It's kind of
No,
become,
we're all aware.
yeah, pretty consistent.
Unfortunately.
Well, in any case, Bella, I think you're right. I think it would be nice to check in on him and see if there is a connection there.
Absolutely. I wouldn't mind checking in on him again myself.
Well, I think that's settled then.
One question is, are you guys going to be setting a watch tonight? You are...
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. In that case, as you guys roll out your sleeping things and set up your tents, etc., who is on first watch?
I'll take a watch. If anyone wants to.
I can watch with you.
Okie doke.
Okay. It's going to be a bit difficult for everyone to get 8 hours now that you are only 5 people. If you have 2 on watch each time.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to have only one watch with 2 people, and then 3 other watches with only one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, this first watch is with the 2 of you.
What's that? Sorry, I was distracted by a tiptoeing child.
Yes, she is tiptoeing out of bed now. Starting this evening, apparently. We're at that stage. Okay. Whoever's on first watch, can you roll me a perception roll, please? Okay.
Hey, not as bad as it could have been.
All right. So the 2 of you are keeping a pretty careful eye out. And Bella, you might be a bit distracted by something. Perhaps.
Yeah, in real life as well.
In real life as well. You know what? It's exactly the same in the game. There's a small child that has wandered away from, keeps sneaking out of one of the covered wagons in another traveling group at the crossroads. And then running back into bed before the parents can find him or her. And you are completely distracted by this adorable display of problems. There you go. So Akiri, you are more alert. You are noticing just various people kind of traveling from camp to camp. Saying hello. No one directly comes over to you guys since you're all just kind of going to sleep. And also, you're some of the most heavily armed. So perhaps you're amongst the most heavily armed. So perhaps that is making them stay away. But Akiri, you are going to notice, out of the corner of your keen pigeon person eyes, every now and then you spot some movement atop the hills. Or it's as though something keeps blocking out the fires, the distant lights to the southeast. You're not quite sure how you could possibly be seeing shapes moving in the dark forest at night, at like a 15 to 20 mile distance, even on top of a hill with moonlight to help. But somehow, with a 22 perception, you are occasionally spotting something or things moving.
Interesting. Cool. Akiri's gonna point that out to Bella and be like, "Hey, do you see something weird on the hills over there?"
Not especially. Can I, like, make a focused perception check now that she's pointed it out to me?
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Alrighty.
So you can roll again at a higher DC. Okay, so you know when Bella's looking, Akiri, it doesn't happen. You know, it's really like, you know, your perception check is over. This kid, go to bed. Your perception check is over the course of what, 2 hours? Is that right, Corey?
Yeah.
Yeah. So over the course of like 2 hours, you're seeing this movement occasionally, right? And so when Bella's looking, it's like it's not, you know, it's not even happening. It's really just your extremely high awareness.
All right, she's gonna keep an eye on it then.
All right.
And whoever goes next, she's gonna be like, "Hey, just like keep an eye out, please."
Okay. Who is next? Who does get this warning from Akiri?
Maybe
Rosie has seen the hex map and she says she likes the patches on it.
Okay. Thanks, Rosie. Why are you not asleep?
She needed me to fix her purse.
That's not the answer I was hoping for. All right. Who's on next watch? Mavra?
Yes.
All right. Let's get a roll. So, Akiri, did you want to say something to Mavra as you pass the watch?
Mavra, just like keep an eye out to the southeast. Oh, that's so sad. I think there's like something weird going on. I don't know. And maybe it's what everyone's worried about. I don't know. Just like keep an eye on it and then pass it on to Bref and or they post or whoever you wake up next. That'd be great.
Okay, we'll do things.
Okay. Mavra, on your watch, as it is the middle of the night, you know, the activity quiets down around the crossroads mostly. There's kind of the fires are burning low. You don't see any of this movement that Akiri mentioned off to the southeast, although you do see distant firelights flickering. It's peaceful. Who do you wake up next on the watch?
I'll wake up Bref.
All right.
And Bref, Akiri saw something over there southeast. Some movement. I haven't seen it, but maybe just keep an eye out.
Yeah, absolutely. I can do that. No problem.
Bref, a 23. Keeping a careful eye, especially to the southeast. Bref, you also spot this movement. Again, it's almost like it's just so far away and it's so dark that you really only catch it out of the corner of your eye more often than when you're directly looking. But it does seem like every now and then something blocks these distant firelights atop the rolling forested hills. And it does seem as though miles to the southeast, at the edge of the farmland. Every now and then something moves between the trees.
Gonna keeping a close eye on it. If I notice it's starting to come, especially close, certainly alert my friends.
Okay. With your interest in bodies of water, you also occasionally glance out across the lake and you see every now and then lights on the lake from boats and so forth. Nothing particularly strange except you do spot at one point in your watch where it looks like a couple of lights, like 3 or 4 boat lights, like cluster together out there. You know, a few miles off the coast. That's all you can really see, but that happens at a certain point in your watch. Who do you wake up next?
I think it's gonna be Vapos.
Okay. So that's 2 hours. Right? Are you each doing 2-hour watches? So that's
Yeah.
2,
Yeah.
4, 6, and then Vapos would
I'm
be
doing
8.
the last 2.
Okay. Okay, Vapos. So you're in the wee hours before dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll me a perception roll.
Oh no. Vapos is not a morning person, apparently.
Interesting. A 1. Make a wisdom save for me.
Okay. Oh no.
Oh my god.
I swear I'm normally pretty good at this.
Oh no. Oh no. This is bad.
Okay, Vapos.
Oh no. This is only going one way and it's bad.
Lay it on me.
Vapos, for whatever reason, you just feel really comfortable sitting on the soft ground. The water, you know, you can hear the lake is, Deep Lake is large enough to have waves. The water lapping against the banks not too far away, the wind blowing across the fields. And Vapos, when you start awake, as the sun comes up,
Oof.
you realize that someone has pinned a note to your body wraps.
Oh no.
The rest of you are waking up. I don't know. Whoever thinks their character would be an early riser, you see Vapos starting awake. Is like the first thing you see in the morning.
You okay there, Rampos?
Yeah, before I look at the note, I'm starting and standing up and looking
Good
around
night.
to see if anybody is still there.
Night, Mavra.
No one's
Good night,
still there,
Mavra.
Vapos. Good night, Mavra. Thank you so much for joining us. No one is still there.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna look to Bref, who just woke up, and I'm just gonna very sheepishly just say, I think I might be a little too used to having a partner on watch. I think I fell asleep for a bit there. And then I'm going to gently unpin the note and read what it says.
It reads, he's actually, it reads, it almost like it starts in the middle of a sentence. It looks to be kind of, like someone with really good handwriting scribbled it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it's kind of feminine in a way. But it says, he's actually in the ruins of the Open Hand Temple in the Thurbu quagmire.
Oh.
And it's signed only MG.
MG. That is not an initial I recognize, but I'm definitely looking around a lot more trying to figure out who the heck was here.
I mean, when you say looking around, you're looking at the other groups.
Yeah.
Some of them are, still slumbering as the dawn breaks across the sky. Some are already packed up and ready to go. There's all kinds here. There's all kinds of different races and different groups. Some look to be heavily armed like yourselves. Some are carrying large amounts of goods, probably for sale. Others are traveling light. I mean, there's all kinds of different people here. None of them jumps out at you immediately as particularly likely to be the author of this note.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be trembling a little bit, and I'm just gonna say, Bref, do the initials MG mean anything to you?
Well, that's the one that makes the and the. Is that the J or the G?
Right. Sorry. Yes. Those are the two sounds that their names would start with.
So it's not Fitzy Well. It's not It's not any of the people. We can't mention the name, though. Not any of our recent companions. Nothing springing to mind.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you. But someone just gave me this note, and I think it's related to the person that I'm looking for.
Oh. Oh, that is suspicious. But helpful.
Yes. Which is part of what worries me. Why wouldn't... You know what? Perhaps this is better discussion once everyone else is awake.
Right, let's wake everyone up.
I suppose it is about that time, and dawn has risen.
Okay. You guys are all awakened. You can break out another ration. Don't forget to mark one off for the previous day. You're all awake?
All right. Bella, are you familiar with anyone who would have the initials of MG?
Can I make an intelligence check?
Sure. Yes, good ask.
Well, that was only an 11.
Someone who might be inclined to help us?
I can't particularly think of anybody.
Are you showing her the note?
I will show her the note, yes.
Okay. I wrote the note. It's now a handout in your journals because it's actually a mysterious note. But I have to change the text color so that I can read it. Because the dark mode makes it so you can't. They didn't change the. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yes. So it's there now. It says he's actually in the ruins of the Open Hand Temple in the Thurbu Quagmire. And with your intelligence check of 11, nothing really jumps out at you, Bella, except to consider who in this location would even, know relevant information and want to, or be in a position to give it to Vapos.
I'll just look suspiciously at Mavra and say, well, what's your last name?
Mavra says, my last name? You think I pinned the note?
Oh, I guess not.
My father's Beryl Heart and my mother's... I can't remember her mother's last name.
Not remember. I'll ask her.
I'll find it. Battlehammer. So they're both B's.
All right, well, it was worth a shot.
Can I try an intelligence check as well to see if I can recognize the initials?
Okay, go for it.
Nope.
Nope. Nope, I'm not even giving you as much as I gave Bella.
Yeah. Nope, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know who this is from, but I suppose, given that my mind is on it, maybe now is also a good time to take a look at that letter. So I haven't had a chance to actually read that yet.
All right.
Sounds like a good plan.
So yeah, I'm going to go to the edge of the water, and I'm going to hold the letter over it and try to read in the reflection of the water without looking at the text on the note directly.
Okay. So much like the note that you actually this would be in an elemental language. In the
I do know Aquan
yes.
as a dialect of Primordial.
This is in Primordial, but it's in it's in Oral. Aural. It's in the Oral dialect. But it is enchanted with that magic that it actually works to read it in the reflection, so you don't forget it.
Wait,
Okay.
is it the wind dialect?
Mm-hmm.
I think Akiri knows that actually.
Mm.
All right. Yeah. So when Vapos realizes that he can't read it, he's just gonna ask. It's in Primordial, but not one of the, or not the version that I'm familiar with. Does anyone else know?
I'm debating if Akiri would actually know what it looked like, for well enough to distinguish it from something else. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Just real quick, Vapos, you would be able to make out the gist of it, right? Just not nuances or specifics. So it's It's a very brief message, much like the one pinned to your body wraps. It's a very brief message, and it looks like it. It looks like it's written in response to something else, maybe. But it has something to do with rebirth and weakness.
Okay.
And a specific person.
Yeah, I can't quite make out the details on this one. If someone is more familiar with this dialect, that would be very helpful. Based on the script, I think it's Oren, but I can't be completely sure.
Oh, I can read that. Here, let me see it.
Okay.
All right. I will hold it so that she can read the reflection.
Okay, so Akira, you're going to read it in the reflection, so you remember the message. And since you actually speak Primordial Orin, between the handwriting and the inflection used, it feels very formal, almost like what ancient rituals, like the death rituals of Aarakocra would use. So it's like the equivalent of saying thee and thou in English, in modern English, right? Like
gotcha.
it's like, it's kind of like highly formal in a way. But
Gotcha.
in this brief message, the meaning of it is, only the one reborn of air and fire knows my secret weakness.
Akiri says that out loud. That's really weird. Babos, does that mean anything to you?
Not particularly. Someone reborn of air and fire?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is the note signed? Do we know who it's from?
Does she?
Does she know what?
If there's like, is it like signed or anything? Is there like a name or?
There's a sigil. There's a symbol
Okay.
in place of his signature. And actually, Vapos, you could make a check too on this. What kind of check would this be? I guess it would be. I mean, I'm gonna say intelligence. It's Arcana, really. So you probably don't have that, but you can make an intelligence check on it.
Okay.
Not bad.
No, get some good straight rolls.
You know, it's highly stylized, but you realize it's kind of a really stylized KOS.
Oh.
Oh.
That bastard. Okay. As soon as Akiri realizes, she goes, oh. Oh, it's him. Really?
Now, you were given this note within a box, right, Vapos?
Yes.
Okay. So on the box is another message, or it's labeled. Okay. Which, and on the box it's written in Primordial. It's also in the Aran dialect of Primordial, but this is such a simple message you don't have any trouble making it out. It does say, and this is also, it does say, this message carried by Scout being capitalized like a name.
Lovely.
Well, I think it raises more questions than it answers, but I mean, it's good to know that there is a weakness, and I mean, this isn't a lot to go on, but it's something for finding who might know it.
Right. Vague direction is better than none.
You know, since we're going back to your house, Akiri, the person who comes to mind most easily is Shadir. I mean, he's an Aarakocra, so that's an air connection. And then he had that whole experience with the fire and the lava and all that stuff. I wonder if he might know something about this.
Maybe. I mean, we could try. Max, does Akiri... You think... Would Akiri know of, like, anything that sounds familiar to what that could possibly be?
To what's that?
Like, who it could be referring to? Like, just like...
Reborn of Air and Fire.
Yeah, Reborn of Air and Fire. Just like, does that stir anything?
It does.
Okay.
But she can't call it to mind.
Gosh dang it. I think I know who it is. I'm pretty sure I know who it is.
Well, in that case...
Extrapolations.
This is a challenge to the player as much as it is to the character.
In that case, I'm pretty sure, again, extrapolating on things, I'm pretty sure it's, what's his face? Leader of the Sword Wings, whatever the hell his name is. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Well, your character would remember his name is Decio.
Decio, thank you.
Deicio.
Yeah. Yeah. That's who I think it is, personally. Again, extrapolating information that I've been given.
Oh, it's a good thing we're headed towards the meeting of the Sword Wings then.
Yeah, it is.
I agree. Well, I think if we know that much, I think we should probably. I think we've spent enough time on this for the moment. Let's continue on our journey. Let's make our way into Arkney if we can.
All right, sounds good.
You guys break camp. You roll up your bedrolls, take down the tents, pack up the remainder of your rations that you ate for breakfast. Check that you haven't left anything behind. Hoist your packs and head in what direction?
On to Arkney.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're continuing south.
South. So once again, these roads are pretty protected for the most part. There's patrols of Arkengard sent out, and there's lots of people around. So if you're on the road, it's generally a lot safer than most of the wildlands that you've been traversing. At least for this first part. So go ahead and make... who wants to jump in first for 2 temp HP?
I can jump in with a performance check.
Okay. I guess you play can you describe that a little bit?
Sure, I play a marching song to get everybody excited. A little bit of Highway to Hell, just to get us in the mood.
Yeah, because that has such a... Perfect. So playing the bagpipe Highway to Hell, you guys go marching down the road. Now, at about midday, when the sun is highest, and lunch is calling, or your bellies are starting to call out for lunch, you hear this sound. And at this point in your travel, it's to the east. It's to the southeast. And it's this crazy thunderous noise. It's far away. It echoes throughout the hills in that direction. And it's kind of like it's fleshy, like clapping, but it's so thunderous that it almost can't be that. It's just like this. It's like thunderous applause, but meatier, fleshier. And there's also this rumbling sound. And as you're passing several other traveling groups along the road who have stopped for lunch, they look up from their bread and cheese and dried meats in slight alarm as the ground kind of rumbles like a very, very slight earthquake. You really only notice it if you're standing still. But it's the sound, this thunderous crashing sound that echoes from those hills and out of the forest.
Oh no, we're being attacked by something that's dummy thick as hell.
I mean, we look around, I guess.
Yeah. What the heck?
The clap of his ass cheeks can be heard from miles away.
You hear distant, it's so loud, it's like a sound that's very far off. I mean, this is miles away. And over one or more hills in the forest. But it's so loud, right? You can hear it from all this distance. Or perhaps the sound is being slightly amplified by bouncing around the hills. But you hear shouting, distant, full-throated shouting and rumbling and yeah, the clap of his ass cheeks, so to speak. The travelers nearby with stuff for lunch quickly pack up their things and hurry on their way.
Perhaps we should move with some speed as well?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that sounds wise.
Okay. As you guys hurry south, you're starting to notice more and more that the farms around here look a little bit... Some of their fields look like they've been trampled. Some of the low stone walls or hedges look like they've been smashed or broken. And so you spot you actually spot a farmhouse far to the east that's like been burned. It's in ruins. And there's a lot fewer farm animals about. Fewer cows and pigs and sheep.
Weird.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling about this.
Who wants to jump in to assist in traveling safely for 2 temp HP and possibly other rewards?
Akiri would like to search around the edge of the road, or maybe even a little further afield. And she's looking for supplies to add to, or like extra supplies to add to their food stocks.
Okay. So she's going to do a bit of gathering, a bit of hunting while you guys are traveling.
Yeah.
All
Can I
right.
use survival?
Yeah, make a survival check.
Perfect. Nineteen.
19. So, yeah, you definitely find some stuff. Actually, you see, although you may not want to hunt and eat them, you see a flock of flying cats. They're cats with wings that are fluttering around in one of the fields.
Oh.
But what they're chasing are smaller kind of rodents that are running about. So if you don't mind hunting those, you could catch some long-eared squirrels and or rabbit. If that takes your fancy.
Sure, she'll go after those.
All right. Well, with a 19, roll me 2d4. Nice. So you find 3 meals worth of... you want conies?
Yeah.
All right. So you find a brace plus 1 of conies.
Sweet. That's all she wanted to do.
Cool.
Now, she might find other, like, berries and stuff as well as she goes, but...
They changed stuff. Oh, no, they didn't change it. Okay. They just made it visible. Cool. So that is a success as you're keeping you definitely scout around pretty effectively that way as Bella plays her marching song. Oh my god, this kid. Yeah, go ahead.
That's how she finds you guys, is she just follows the sound of bagpipes.
That's right. That's why she never loses you.
It's really hard to.
Catarangs, with all the best qualities of a cat and a boomerang. Cats with wings, yes. Okay. So you guys succeed. You have made it to the outskirts of Arkany without falling prey to a random encounter. However,
Comma.
there is a 5% chance that this outer palisade wall that surrounds Arkany in the farmlands is under siege at the time that you arrive. So please, everyone, roll a D100 and try not to roll a 1. And somebody gets to roll twice.
I will roll for Maybro.
Okay. 17's pretty close on a D100. that everybody? No.
Oh, we're missing Corey.
Sorry, I was muted. Didn't realize.
That's real close on a D100 scale. Okay. In that case, you reach the palisade wall and find the Arkangard kind of in full force, looking at passerby a bit nervously. The wooden gates are open, and there's a squad of them that's checking people coming in. So you have to kind of get in line. And you're noticing as you get closer and closer to Arkney, just kind of a general look about the average person around about. They're just a bit better dressed, a bit more civilized looking than most of the folk you've been dealing with out here in the Wildlands. You do get the sense that life tends to be a bit easier in this region than, or at least in this city-state, than in where you've been hanging out lately. So, what you don't see is like the guys like the guy in the fungal forest with mushrooms growing out of his mouth, right? Like this kind of a general cleaner. I guess cleaner isn't exactly the word I'm looking for. They just look a bit more civilized and a bit more. They're more like townsfolk
Gotcha.
than that. The guard. Finally, you guys, there's a bit of a line that's built up, but you get your turn, and the guard kind of checks each one of you, checks each one of your faces, and says, "We ask that you keep your weapons sheathed and your spells to a minimum while within our walls.
Not a problem.
And he ties a kind of he actually, they have a hanging up at the gateway, at the wooden gateway in the palisade wall. They have a wooden dagger hanging on a rope, and he actually asks that you measure your blades, your weapons, against this weapon to see if they're longer than basically it's like a kitchen knife. And so any weapon that's kind of larger than the kitchen knife carving, they kind of tie. It's not really piece bonding. They tie like a kind of a thread around it, like a red length of leather. Just to show, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's just for show. It's
Security theater.
What?
Security theater.
Security theater. God, there's a word. It's killing me. Anyway, it's not really. They're not really piece bonded. They're not really tied in their sheaths. It's or is it actually? Actually, hang on. I take that back. They do peace bond your weapons, which really mainly affects breath. Yeah, they do. They do actually fully peace bond your weapons. I'm sorry. As I mentioned earlier, you were seeing people coming out of Arkney with their weapons still peace bonded.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just for show. No, they take these red lengths of leather cord, and they tie your weapons into their sheaths. Anything that's longer than a kitchen knife, or of a certain size. For any, they kind of ask you, like some of you probably kind of look like spellcasters. Would you say that you look like a spellcaster, Bella? If you're not completely distracted.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm wearing normal adventurer clothes and I'm carrying multiple instruments, so I guess to anybody who's savvy, I probably look like a bard.
Well, they don't peace bond your musical instruments, but anyway, they kind of look for like obvious wands and rods and staves and orbs and spell books. They kind of look you over, the Arkengard. Meanwhile, all of them are themselves carrying these huge crossbows with these with a crackling quiver of lightning touched bolts. They use this cord to tie your weapons in, and breath. You may have forgotten, but you actually at one point when you had a fight, you were able to make a strength check to burst the peace bonding on your weapon to pull it out.
Yes, hopefully that will not happen again.
Right. And yeah, go ahead.
Vapos is still carrying his Shadow Dragon dagger. Is that, or I'm assuming that's something that would get peace bonded, or is that small enough that they don't care?
It's a dagger made of bone. It is longer than the thing. They aren't quite sure what to make of that. But unless you object, they do peace bond it.
I do not object.
Okay. So they kind of tie it into whatever you have it secured with. They say, they welcome you to, the guards kind of briefly welcome you to Arkney. Welcome to Arkney. Lord Governor Emmond welcomes you and hopes that you will do trade in peace and health within our town.
Thanks.
There is a small nominal fee to enter if you would like to reach the town proper. And as armed folk, that will be 1 silver each.
I would like to do an insight check if this is an actual tax or if this is just a bribe.
Okay. You may insight that. Whoa!
Natural 20.
You think that they are under orders to ask for this, but they don't seem happy about it. In fact, you with a 28, you pick up on this feeling like almost like there's someone this guard is beholden to, like maybe he's not entirely happy with the governor, the Lord
Gotcha.
Governor Emmond, and there's someone else he's beholden to, who kind of pushed against the tax.
Okay.
Which is quite a hell of an insight. So,
Yeah.
based on that interaction, so
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a lot of info.
That's justified by 28, I'd say.
All right. Cool. Then, yeah, Vapos will happily pay the tax.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
by all means.
All right. So they collect the money. They've peace bonded your weapons, not crazy securely, but securely enough, and welcome you to Arkney. You definitely have the sense as you move on in within the perimeter wall of just the busyness of this region. There's lots of people around. Perhaps even surprisingly large number given the tax that's been imposed to enter. And the population is mostly human and halfling, with a high number of dwarves and gnomes. And really a smattering of everything, of every kind of intelligent creature. But oh my god, this kid is still up. She's walking around talking out there. You see that as you approach. Well, Arkney. So you now are close enough. You're through the wall. You can see the town proper. Arkney lies on the southeast shore of Deep Lurk Lake. You can see tall masted ships and boats come and go from the expansive port. The first impression of the town is of one in transition. It's more than a simple farming and fishing village. But it's not quite a large port city. The place immediately evokes an air of enterprise and moderate wealth. As I mentioned, the folk you pass on the roads, they're a little bit better dressed, they're a little bit cleaner. They're also a little bit more wary than most of the travelers you've met on the road. The buildings, as you get closer to kind of downtown Arkney, they form a dichotomy as well. Some of them are old and dilapidated, and some of them are brand new construction. Less masterful in their architecture, perhaps, but clearly seeking to make a statement. Several of the buildings actually have that facade to make them look larger.
Oh my gosh.
It's also worth noting that everyone you meet kind of here on the outskirts of Arkney, everyone you meet fits pretty neatly into a particular social strata in their appearance. The gnomes and halflings who are farmers look like farmers, like they're wearing, suspenders, or that denim onesie. The Arkengard look like guards. Most of them sport mustaches. And the well-to-do are better dressed, and there's actually, as some of the roads here are paved, They travel in finer carriages than the simple carts of the traveling peddlers who you've been in line with to enter. And you actually see a lot of enchanted objects that kind of make life easier. Like you see someone doing a trade by the side of the road, like pulling an impossibly large, like a entire lamp, freestanding lantern holder out of a bag. You see some enchanted magical plows, plowing some fields here within the perimeter wall, needing no horse or oxen team, but clearing dead brush and tilling the fields in preparation for planting, under the careful eye of some of the more successful and obviously well-to-do farmers. So to Arkney.
Cool.
And it is the evening now, right, guys?
Probably.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds right.
Yes. By the time you get here, it is indeed evening. So we're going to switch to the evening look.
Nice.
All right. As you can see, when I developed this town, this is 3 years ago. This is downtown Arkney. So this is the densest cluster of large buildings. Really, everything of interest is here in downtown Arkney. It's a little flipped around because north is on the bottom of this map. So I know that can be a little confusing, but it just looked better that way. Okay. Welcome to Arkney. Some of you have been here before. Some of you, this is your first time. And you are perhaps interested to see that there are a number of large trestle tables that have been set up kind of in the middle of the town square. And it looks like they've been there for a while, but perhaps some festival was recently celebrated, as it looks like people are kind of cleaning up, or perhaps setting up for the next one. Okay, here you are in Arkney. Where would you like to go, or what would you like to do first?
I suppose we should probably find somewhere to spend the night.
Yeah, I think we were at the Mellow Eel last time.
Well, do you all want to stay there again?
Yeah, we can.
I have to say that I sort of agree with you, Akiri. I could use a bath.
Alright, then let's go there.
All right. So you guys head to the town square. The Mellow Eel is kind of a pleasant-looking building. Like a lot of the kind of boomtown feel, it has multiple additions, and it's right on this sort of boardwalk that surrounds the town square. there's some trees that were planted not too long ago that kind of shade the entrance, and the cavern has plaster over over most of the walls, which actually makes it a lot nicer than many buildings out there in the wilds. Heather thatched roof, and when you walk in, you find that the furniture inside is kind of simple, a bit rough and ready, but kind of quaint in a way. And there's braziers set around this crowded space with all kinds of people talking, chatting. There's quite an extensive series of mats as you walk in to kind of stomp the mud off of your boots. And the atmosphere is a bit raucous. There's a wash of a smell of rich ale and just cooking mutton and frying cheese and some kind of spicy sauce that just washes over you as you guys come in through the door. The people here are all different types. Many of them are dressed kind of as towns, in nice kind of about town clothes. A woman in a green dress kind of waves you in. She's holding a bunch of dirty glasses on a tray, but she is very well dressed. And for a serving person, there's drink, and there's also like kind of the other half of the patrons are well armed like you guys, but with peace bonded red leather thongs about their weapons. In one corner, there's a guy with a short pointed hat who's juggling balls of flame to the excited clapping of a small audience. Most of them looking like they're already a bit tipsy early in the evening. As you troop in, would you like to try to get rooms first, or try to hit up the tavern first? What do you want to do?
I'm fine either way.
Let's secure our rooms first, I think.
Yeah, that sounds wise.
Okay. Well, you go and you talk to you walk up to you troop up to the kind of desk area near the bar, where a half elf in a blue tunic with red highlights, long gray pants, and a friendly smile looks up as you guys come in. And he takes one look at Akiri, Bref, Mavra, and Bella and goes, "Oh no. Oh no. Not you again." And he does a loud facepalm.
Oh, it wasn't that bad, was it?
That's where we're stopping for tonight. Thank you all very much for playing.
Wait, hold on. Is this the inn that Krant is partnered with? He owns part of it. Is this wrong one?
No, you're
wrong
thinking
town?
of wrong
this is the
town.
other- Yeah.
No. This guy looks a little. He should, he would look a little bit familiar to your characters, but you haven't seen him in months and months. So, but he remembers you.
We're a very distinctive group.
Yeah. Well, at least Aarakocra. Actually, yeah. Bella, you're getting noticed as you walk in particular. Even though you're a half-elf and, less crazy looking than, say, Vapos, you're getting noticed. There are a lot of eyes on you, Bella. But yes, he remembers you clearly. So we'll pick that up next time here in the Mellow Eel Tavern. So thank you all very much for playing. It was fun. You did travel through 2 hexes. So you are going to, I think one of those is only worth 50 per level, and the other one is worth 100 per level. So 50 times 9 would be 450 for 1 hex.
We're level 10 now.
You're level 10 now?
We got level 10 after the last session.
Who approved that? So never mind. So there you go. So 500 for the traveling the first hex, and 1,000 for traveling the second hex. Mainly because of that 5% chance of siege.
Oh yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about that and didn't level up again.
All right, well, you didn't level up in the last 3 weeks, but now you can level up hopefully before next session. So thank you to everyone who hung out in chat. Thanks to Kenny. You're very welcome. Have a good one. Stay safe, but keep your risks reasonable indeed. Thank you for hanging out, Banthos Screening. Thank you to Taladar for hanging out. Thank you to anyone else who watched this or watches the recording later. You are awesome. And we thank you very much. Thank you to Jeremy, player of Bref, the barbarian, the human barbarian. Thank you to M, player of Akiri, the Aarakocra cleric. Thank you to Kirsten. Thank you to Kirsten, player of Bella, the half-elven bard. And thank you to Corey, player of Vapos, the water genasi monk. All right. Well, good night, guys. Until next
Good night.
time.
Thank you, Max. That was lots of fun.
Oh,
It's
you're very
good to be back.
Yes! We're back! Bye-bye.
Night.
Bye, everyone.